Hey folks, what's up? Thanks for checking out I Suck at Painting. Just have a quick video for you today. We're going to make a base for the speed painted Ironjawz Orruks, and you can find the link to that video in the description. So let's get started. To start this out, I marked out where the feet will go, just so I don't put things where the feet need to be. And after picking out some various size rocks, I glued them on the base using super glue. Using an odd number of bigger rocks and stuff seems to give a more natural feel. After adding a bunch more super glue, I dumped some baking soda onto it. This will give a little bit of difference in texture to what we add later. The next step was to fill in the majority of the base with PVA glue, and using an old brush, spread it all around. With the glue still wet, I dunked it into a bin of soil from a dead houseplant and tapped off the excess. The remaining area got a thick coat of a grelin earth texture paint. Next I started adding vegetation. This is that sphagnum moss stuff you use in orchid pots. And some standard terrain lichen. When that was dry, I coated the soil and the vegetation with a mix of PVA and water. The whole base then got a coat of Vallejo Surface Primer Black. After that was dry, got a dry brush with a neutral gray. On my palette, I heavily thinned out a bunch of earth tones and blue grays. I applied these where they seemed like they should go, mostly without cleaning the brush and letting them mix and blend together on the base. After the paint was dry, I used a bit of Vallejo green ink to pick out some of the spots where I wanted it to look more lush. After all that was dry, I did a light dry brush of a super bright green on the green areas of the base. Next was a wash of Agrex Earth Shade on the whole base to add some shading and tone down the bright green a little bit. After that, I applied some thinned down known oil to the grelin earth parts. The grelin earth sections then got a dry brush of light brown to help define the cracks. After that, a dry brush of light tan, just two selected areas. Some Woodland Scenics clump foliage was attached with super glue to give a bit more variation. After trimming the pins in the model's feet, I dipped them in blue paint and used them to mark where to drill the holes. And glued the model on with super glue. A quick coat of black paint on the base rim and it's finished. The great thing about basing is that you can do whatever you want. And I hope this gave you some ideas and some inspiration for some easy basic basing beyond just texture paint and some tufts. I think it turned out pretty good and it didn't really take very long. If you'd like to see more, please hit that subscribe button, the bell button, and the ocular occlusion button. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.